Welcome back to my channel, everyone. 3Tips here. Today is day 10 of the silver cell, and we've had the time-lapse camera going the whole time. So we're going to go ahead and shut this thing down now. I still got a decent current flow going on, but the electrolyte level is getting critically low down in there, and I hate to stir it up. I've got some scum floating on top of the electrolyte. That normally does not happen because I keep this opening covered up, and I've had it open the whole time for the camera to take that time lapse. So we're going to go ahead and shut the cell off now. I'm removing the anode bar. Get that out of the way. Now let me get rid of the cathode connection. Get it out of the way. Now we'll get our anode basket out of here. Now we'll take the cover out of the way and gaze down into the silver cell. This is some cement silver that I've rinsed with boiling distilled water. This is the copper nitrate that I've rinsed off of the cement silver. And what we'll do is we'll pour this copper nitrate solution off into my silver refining stock pot. It's full of copper, and any remaining silver or other precious metals that might be in this solution, which is highly doubtful, but there may be something in here. We add this to the copper, and then we'll cement the rest, if any, of the precious metals out of this blue solution. This is my cement silver bucket. I store the dried out cement silver powder in here. And then what we'll do is we'll melt this up and make impure shot to run through the silver cell. I've got the copper nitrate rinsed off of this. And what we'll do here is transfer this now to a dish. This is a plastic 2-piece Buchner funnel. I'm going to transfer it right into this dish. Good deal. We saved the filter in there. We'll let this dry out now. What I'm going to do is set this back up. We can reuse that filter. It stayed in place down there. I'm going to set this back up, and we're going to put some more cement silver out of our cement silver bucket that we have down here. This bucket is full of the silver nitrate, and I put pieces of copper in here and cement the silver out of my silver nitrate solutions in this bucket. Once this silver dries out, I'll transfer it into this storage bucket. We'll save it up. And we're going to add some more of the cement silver into this funnel now to rinse more of the blue liquid off. Here's my silver solutions. Each one of these containers right here, I've got 4 of them, are full of silver solutions. There's probably, I don't know, maybe 100 ounces of silver here. And this one's been filtered out. So what we'll do is we'll add this one into our cement silver bucket here to start cementing the silver out of this solution. Let's get this funnel out of the way right quick. I'm going to stick it over here temporarily in this funnel with some of my silver nitrate. Now what we'll do is we'll take this flask that has our copper nitrate solution in it, and we're going to pour this off down into this silver refining stock pot. Alright, I have my vacuum filtration powered up and running. This has got 2 filters in it. And we're going to add some of this cement silver out of this bucket to this filter now. And we'll be able to rinse the copper nitrate, the blue liquid, off of here. Make room in our cement silver bucket to add some silver nitrate to it so we can continue cementing silver out in this bucket right here. This is what happens when I get wrapped up making my videos. Everything else falls behind and I get all backed up, and then I got to stop and make room. And some of my reaction vessels here, when I'm shooting my video, I put 110% into the quality of the production and shooting the video, and everything else just falls by the wayside. Alright, I'm going to add some distilled water to this mountain of silver here and just get it broke down so we can start rinsing the silver with hot boiling distilled water. Boiling distilled water does a better job here of rinsing the copper nitrate off of the cement silver. Using hot distilled water does a far better job than just using cold distilled water. Kind of messy, but It's just water and it'll all dry up. We've got a beaker. This has got some electrolyte in it from a, we showed this in a previous video, cementing the silver out on a piece of copper pipe. Alright, let's see this piece of copper. I'm going to take it out of here, and I'm going to stick this. Let's see if I can. I'm going to stick this over here in my cement silver bucket. We're going to cement some more silver out in this. I'm going to reach in here and grab a couple of pieces of copper out of here. Put this down in my silver cementing bucket. We can reuse these pieces. It's pretty thin. Two of that is thin. I want to try to get some chunkier pieces. There's a solid piece. We'll add it to our cement silver bucket down here. Before I add this filtered silver nitrate solution to my cementation bucket, what I'm going to do is add a gallon of distilled water. This will dilute the silver nitrate, because if we pour highly concentrated silver nitrate into the cementation bucket, what will happen is the silver will passivate on those pieces of copper, form a hard crust of pure silver on those pieces of copper, and then the reaction will cease. Now I'm adding the silver nitrate from this flask into the cementation bucket. This is silver nitrate combined with copper nitrate. What will happen in here is the silver will come out of solution on those pieces of copper. I'll give this a quick stir. And you can see the silver is already starting to come out of solution onto the pieces of copper. And what I normally do is set this in the fume hood while it's reacting, because it does produce some fumes. I'll do the same thing with this cement silver that we cemented out of our electrolyte from the silver cell. Put it up here, pull all the blue solution off of it. Right now, let's get this thing into a dish so we can get it dried out. There you can see the filters. If you'll notice, I've got two filters, and that's so that when we stir this up, we don't break through the filter and allow the silver to travel down into our strained out copper nitrate solution. This is a 12.5 centimeter two-piece Buchner foam. Let's see if I can get it off. You see it's two parts. And what we do is I stick an 11 centimeter filter down in there and get it to seat. Then I have a 12.5 centimeter filter. And I set that right down on top of the 11 centimeter filter. So now we've got two filters in there. That's because I'll be stirring with a glass rod, and I don't want the glass rod to pierce the filter paper as we stir. Now let's get our silver out of this jar so we can reclaim our 5-liter beaker. Get that down into our funnel here. Start rinsing the liquid off of this silver. This was the cement silver from the 5-liter beaker. What we'll do is we'll put it in one of those drying dishes back there. But for right now, let's get this out of the way. And what we want to do is pour off this blue copper nitrate liquid down into our silver refining stock pot. This will cement out any remaining precious metals that might be in this liquid, and then we'll add this blue liquid in here to my waste treatment bucket that's full of pieces of angle iron, and we'll cement all of the copper out of that solution in the waste treatment bucket. Now what we'll do is, now that we got some room, we're going to start the fume hood. I've got a reaction beaker right here. We're going to put this up on our scale and zero this out. I'm going to measure out a couple 100 grams of pure silver crystal to this reaction beaker. We're going to reuse the electrolyte in the silver cell, but I'll augment the concentration of that electrolyte by dissolving a little more pure silver crystal. I'm adding some distilled water, fill it up to about the 300 milliliter level. Now let's make it to the 4. Nitric acid to dissolve the pure silver crystal to make silver nitrate. I'm going to add about, I guess about 150 milliliters or so. We'll put this up on the heat and let this react to form our fresh electrolyte for the silver cell. This has been on boiling for probably about 4 hours now. And I think we've got this stuff nice dissolved completely. Looks crystal clear like water. No fumes, and we've got a little bit of silver left in the bottom, so our electrolyte is complete. Let me drop the cathode connection down off of the silver cell now. We're going to pull the lid off of our silver cell, and now what we'll do is we'll transfer the solution down into this beaker. Just pick it up, and we're going to pour it off into the beaker. Set this down over here. Let's use a spatula to scrape the silver down off the sides of the silver cell. This is about 1.5 kilos of high purity silver. Let me move this back out of the way just a second. Got a clean beaker here. What we'll do is we'll transfer now the pure silver into this beaker. Now we're going to add some distilled water to our silver here and rinse this electrolyte off of here. What I'll probably end up doing is adding this rinse to my silver cementation bucket. I've rinsed the pure silver crystal that we just harvested about 6 times with distilled water. Made sure all the electrolyte is off here. Now what we're going to do is set it up on some heat and dry this off. I've still got some room in the flask, so what we'll do is we'll add some of our fresh electrolyte. Just going to pour this right on in now. What this will do is augment the concentration of the silver in our electrolyte. And the reason we do this is because as the cell operates, silver gets depleted from the electrolyte. It plates out onto the cathode bowl as pure silver crystal. We're getting rings. That's pretty neat. The drops are coming out of the end of the funnel and forming little rings that float down into the solution. Now let's take our electrolyte over here. We're gonna add it to the silver cell. It's looking fantastic, nice and clear. And let's go ahead and add this now right into the silver cell. We're going to filter the rest of our electrolyte. Here's the rest of our solution. If you look in the filter, that's the junk that was floating on top of the electrolyte. And one bug lost his life, got down in there during the time-lapse sequence. So we got him filtered out. So now what we'll do is we'll take our filter off of here. We'll take our solution over and top off the silver cell. Now we'll top it up with some distilled water. Just add it slowly while we stir until we get it to about within a ½ inch of the top of the cell. That's good. Stir it up real well. Incorporate everything smooth. Alright, let's put our get our top on here. Here's our anode filter basket with impure silver in it. I'm going to lower this down into the cell now. The bottom of this will be suspended in the electrolyte. I've got the anode bar connected to the positive side of the power supply. Now we're going to add that to the anode filter basket. Let's hit some power here. See what kind of readings we get on our power supply. Looks like we got 3.5 volts, which is constant, at 1.9 amps, 2 amps. It's going to rise as the electrolyte seeps into the anode filter basket and makes contact with the impure silver shot that's in there. Our pure silver crystal from this harvest is dry completely. So now what we're going to do is we're going to swap a few things around. I'm going to put this beaker up here on this scale. We're going to zero this out. And I'm going to add this silver to this beaker. And what we'll do is use this to make more electrolyte for the silver cell. That's 562 grams. That's enough for one charge of the silver cell. That's perfect. Alright, let me move this back out of the way. I'm going to bring this up, this container. We're going to zero this out. And we're going to bring down our silver that we just harvested. It's in this container here. Let me see if I can get a shot of that. It's hot. That's the silver that we just dried off. Now we're going to get a weight on this, add it to this jar. And it looks like we got 1.2, almost 1.3 kilos of pure silver for the harvest from the silver cell. Well, that'll do it for this update on the silver cell. Got it restarted. Got our harvest in here. We got the time lapse. So this will conclude the video. I'd like to thank everyone for watching.